Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, hello. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I formally declare open this council meeting of the Colac Otway Shire on the 20th of April 2026. How's that? A bit better. Beautiful. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I formally declare open this council meeting of the Colac Otway Shire Council on the 28th of April 2026. I'll start with the opening prayer. Almighty God, we seek your blessing and guidance in our deliberations on behalf of the people of the Colac Otway Shire. Enable this council's decisions to be those that contribute to the true welfare and betterment of our community. Amen. I'd like to start this afternoon by acknowledging the traditional custodians and lawmakers of this land, their elders past and present. Please be advised that this meeting is recorded and live streamed with the exception of confidential matters. This includes the public participation sections of meetings. The live stream recording of this afternoon's meeting will be available on the website as soon as practicable. By participating in open meetings, individuals consent to the use and disclosure of the information they share at the meeting, including any personal and or sensitive information. I'll note that all councillors are present. There are no apologies. We'll move on to 3.3, confirmation of minutes. I propose that we move to confirm the minutes of the unscheduled council meeting held on the 31st of March 2026. Do I have a mover? Councillor Hudgell. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Howard. We have a motion before us. Councillors will now put to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Howard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Potter, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Zhu, Councillor Shrams. Carried 7-0. Thanks, councillors. Declarations of interest. Are there any? Councillor Hudgell. Thanks.
Thanks, Mayor. I'd just like to wish to declare a conflict of interest in relation to item 7.2, the proposal to enter into a Copac lease for Copac. As the owner of Red Door Dance and Theatre Co., a major user group of the facility, I will leave the room and not participate in any discussion or decision on this item. I'd also just like to note that I have not participated in any prior discussions or briefings relating to this matter as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other conflicts of interest? Mr. Surin.
Through you, Mayor, I'd just like to declare a general conflict of interest for item 7.2, proposal to enter into a lease for Copac, as I have an association with submitted to the EOI process.
Thank you. Any other conflicts of interest? There are none. We'll now move on to question time. Question time is an opportunity to ask questions of council in a respectful manner. Please extend due courtesy to councillors and officers when addressing council in this meeting. We reserve the right to disallow questions that breach our governance rules. 30 minutes is allowed for question time at council meetings. Council is unable to provide for attendance via video conference at today's meeting due to technical constraints. Any questions asked must be submitted in writing in advance or by attending in person. Council has received questions in writing from Lynn Russell, Susan Tate, Prabha Cuddy, James Judd. These questions will be read out and a response will be provided by the relevant member of the executive management team. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Lynn Russell's provided 11 questions in total. The first 2 of those I'll respond to now, and the remaining 9 will be responded to in writing. All information obtained from Colac Otway Shire annual reports from 2010 onwards. Given the continued deficit, what was the rationale of giving a $125,000 discount to the cinema operators in 2018? And the second question was, has the Colac Otway Shire done a comprehensive review of the operating expenses of Copac, given the increases in expenses, particularly in years 2019 to 2025? The response is that officers are unaware of a $125,000 discount provided to the cinema lessee in 2018, and Council has periodically reviewed the financial and operating performance of Copac. It should be noted that along with many other services, the cost to Council for operating the centre during 2020 and 2021 was severely impacted by COVID. As I flagged, the remainder of those questions will be provided an an answer in writing. Susan Tate also asked some questions relating to COPAC. Given that several recent decisions regarding COPAC appear to have been made without reference to Council's current arts and culture strategy, procurement policy or risk management framework, can Council provide the governance documentation that demonstrates compliance with these requirements, including the strategic alignment assessment, procurement justification and risk assessment undertaken prior to the decisions being made? And if no such documentation exists, can Council explain why the required governance steps were not followed? And the response is that the decision to seek expressions of interest for the lease of COPAC was determined at a public meeting of Council on the 24th of June 2025. Throughout the process, Council has been guided by a range of legislative and policy requirements, including the Local Government Act 2020, along with Council's community engagement, procurement and Council property leasing policies. In addition, the Council Plan 2025 to 29 also provides clear direction, including Objective 3, which is that our Council governs progressively and sustainably for all. The process for seeking a lessee of COPAC was undertaken in accordance with all legislative and policy requirements, which is outlined in the report to Council's April 2026 meeting. The Creative Colac Otway Arts and Culture Strategy 2018 to 2022 continues to provide guidance to Council. The proposal to lease COPAC to an external operator aligns with the key themes in the strategy, including providing quality cultural facilities and community spaces and increasing participation in arts and culture activity.
The next question comes from Mr. Cuddy. Mr. Cuddy's question is, could Council please advise us of the criteria that is applied to have a matter dealt with at an unscheduled Council meeting? It would help if Council used as an example the Council meeting at which the COPAC lease was decided to answer this question. Thanks for your question, Mr. Cuddy. Section 3 of the governance rules outlines the process for calling an unscheduled Council meeting, but it does not apply a criteria for matters to be dealt with at the meeting. Section 3 really outlines how Council or the Mayor, or at least 3 councillors, can call an unscheduled Council meeting and the role of the CEO to convene that meeting. It also requires the notice to call an unscheduled meeting must state the business to be transacted, but there's no criteria on what business may be transacted. So if I apply that to the COPAC lease at the unscheduled Council meeting on the 31st, Council made the decision to call the unscheduled meeting at the meeting held on the 24th of March 2026, which was as per the rules. The next question I have is from James Judd. His question is it legal for officers of Council to persist in reducing the time allowed for submissions to be lodged on Council's budget and charges? There should always be produced no later than the March Council meeting in a year. When it was required that 60 days had to be allowed and was then reduced in 2025 to 6 weeks and then in 2026 to 4 weeks due to the very late production so they could be accepted by 30 June. Thanks for the question, Mr. Judd. In response, we are governed by the Local Government Act. So Section 96 of the Local Government Act requires Council to prepare a budget subject to Council's community engagement policy. Our community engagement policy requires a period of 6 weeks for the standard public exhibition time for Council documents requiring community feedback, and that includes preparation of the budget. Council undertook public exhibition process for the annual budget earlier this year, and that was a very deliberate decision to enable consultation to occur earlier and to inform the budget and to enable councillors to consider those submissions while they were developing the budget and it was in process, rather than at the end of the process, which is what has happened in previous years. This period of exhibition, which will start if councils endorse it today at the meeting, is the second time council has asked for formal feedback on this annual budget and is above the statutory requirements of council. So I can confirm the process is legal and follows the statutory requirements of council.
Thank you. That concludes our written questions. Move on to questions from the gallery. In accordance with our governance rules, we've sought registration for questions. I have questions first from Mr. Tony Webber. Thanks, Tony.
This is a question on COPAC. Has the council calculated redundancies of the present staff, and if not, why not?
Thank you. Mr. McNeil, response. response.
Thank you, Mr. Webber. Your council obviously is aware that if the facility is leased out to a private operator, there'll need to be a consideration to existing staff and the impacts of the decision on them. We've held some discussions already with the proposed operator around how they might be able to work with our current staff, but certainly those staff have rights under our enterprise agreement in relation to their entitlements.
Second question on COPAC. If the community and the ratepayers haven't fully been informed on this decision, can the council delay the decision until the community is fully informed?
Thank you, Mr. McNeil.
Through you, Mayor. Council initiated a community engagement process after the March council meeting, and there's been fairly widespread communication with the community about council's intentions, and we believe that there's enough understanding of the proposal and certainly submissions that have been received from the community outlining any concerns that council's in a position to make a decision today.
So that's just enough understanding. Is that enough, do you think, for the community? Because this is a vital decision.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Webber. I think Mr. McNeil answers that question. Thank you. Now call Mr. Georgie Wheeler. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask, has there been any kind of serious investigation as to whether this type of privatisation model has worked in other rural centres?
Thank you. Mr. McNeil. Yep.
Through you, Mayor. In the assessment of the proposals that have been put forward through this process, there certainly has been examination of the different parties that have made applications, and officers are satisfied in making recommendations to council today that the party put forward for the proposed lease has appropriate experience in terms of running a centre of this nature.
I'm not sure that was quite what I was asking, but what I was trying to get to is has council actually investigated whether a model like this has worked in other rural centres across the country or the state? That's what I was intending to ask.
Through you, Mayor. Part of the process of assessing the proposal with IVG was that we undertook reference checks, and so there has been checks done with other parties that they've dealt with around these sorts of facilities that have satisfied staff that they would be capable of operating this centre successfully should council decide to proceed with the lease.
Mr. Surin. Yeah.
I might just jump in. Thank you, Mayor. Certainly one example that comes to mind is the Paramount in Echuca, which is a privately operated facility now. It was a council facility. It provides both cinema and performing arts programs. There's not a lot of centres around Australia, for that matter, that have both cinema and performing arts and share an auditorium, but Echuca is a really good example where it works really well by a private operator.
Thank you. From what I've been able to look up, IVG Global show no experience in running cinema. They have no experience in artistic programming leadership or producing theatre seasons or long-term creative direction of theatres. Their work is more operational commercial consultancy than artistic theatre management. So why are they the preferred candidate?
Through you, Mayor. IVG Global was identified as a preferred respondent through a competitive procurement process. Their submission demonstrated operational capability and access to performing arts programming through established sector networks. Any lease remains subject to a council decision, and council retains responsibility for artistic and community outcomes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have Dav Rees. Thank you.
Thank you. Has the council seriously thought about, given the words of your prayer about the welfare and improvement of communities, the inherent risks that are at hand with the proposed development of the subdivision of the Park Avenue place in question. Given that we already have an ample overabundance of vacant lots in town ready and fit for building in safe and secure positions.
Thank you, Mr. Surin, for planning.
Through you, Mayor. Officers have been working with the applicant on this proposal for a number of years. We're satisfied to provide a recommendation to cancel on the application. We've taken into consideration a whole range of issues that have been raised, and we feel that it's ready to be determined by council.
Okay. And just on another tack, have all or any of the councillors visited the site and had a look at where the proposal is going to land?
Thank you. I have been there. Yep, it looks like a yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone for your written and verbal questions. That concludes our question time. I note there are no petitions or joint letters. I'll move on to item 6, the planning and responsible authority decisions. Item 6.1, planning permit 101/2023-1, 19 Park Avenue and 92 Montrose Avenue, Apollo Bay. Questions of officers? Councillor Potter, thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you.
Thanks. We haven't got a little table.
Yeah.
Someone that can sit.
Sorry that you got to stand.
That's all good. It's all
okay.
good. Thanks.
Just a question in relation to if this matter was deferred, does that not tell the applicant to take us to VCAT? Hello? Amazing. If this matter is deferred, does that open the door for the applicant to take this matter to VCAT to get a finalisation?
Through the Mayor, the simple answer to that is yes. They can, for the failure to determine. Councils have 60 days to make a decision on an application, and we exceeded that time frame.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No questions? No, in that case, councillors. Sorry?
Yeah, through Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move that we defer this application to a meeting in the future at an appropriate time, and I'll give my reasons why if I'm seconded.
Yeah. Just give us a second. Hang on a second. You happy with that wording?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Just give us a couple of minutes. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. A motion moved. Is it to be seconded? Councillor Buchanan. Councillor Howard is the mover. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know that this process has been going on for quite a while, and also that the zoning is appropriate to lodge an application. However, we did go out to seek comments by the community, and we heard them at the submissions hearing, and I think there was a lot of valid concerns that came out from the community. And a couple of things that raised my eyebrow a little bit too was that the applicant has advised, and it's in the report, that the single access and egress to the residential portion of the site is not preferred, but he goes on as is acceptable, but it's not preferred. We talk about developments, and we had one in Colac at Hillview, which was a similar kind of debate between councils and the developer on access and safety with access. And I wholeheartedly, I understand where our officers are coming by ticking things off in the planning scheme. However, there's lots of clauses in the planning scheme that talk about, you know, looking after the community's safety, looking after their amenity and everything else. And I think we need to defer this because I need to explore it a bit more. I think there's some engineering design. We have inundation, but we know in this day and age, there's lots of engineering solutions that can provide for alternative access that can that I think would comfort some of the submitters. So I want more time to look at alternative conditions, if at all, if it comes up again for discussion, which it does, according to my resolution, if it gets passed. I know the applicant could take us to VCAT because we haven't made a decision, but then again, as a councillor, we can't be forced into a decision when I'm not 100% comfortable. So there is some questions to ask, and I think there's a lot to be explored still to make sure that we're doing the right thing by our community as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Buchanan.
Thanks, Mick. I concur with Councillor Howard's summation. In having an on-site visit this morning, I could clearly see what the submitters that come to Colac and had some objections to this particular development. I could see exactly what they meant about. To me, it's a fairly tough case to say it'd be a good subdivision, ticking all the boxes of planning, drainage. I think it has some issues there that definitely need looking at further before we go ahead and agree with something like that. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor? Councillor Potter.
Thanks, Mayor. Yes, look, I'll be supporting this, Mayor. I'd like to get a decision on this, but I understand and support Councillor Howard's want for some more information to have another look at this. I do have issues with the widening of Park Avenue. I have a serious issue with one road in and out. Although the experts have ticked off on this, and I get that, and I congratulate the officers for an enormous amount of work, I have reservations about this application. I would like to see the industrial part of the application developed. Perhaps that could be separated out at one stage. We do need industrial land in Apollo Bay. But the residential side of things, although we need land, we need cheaper land to get some affordable housing. I think there's still some work to do on this, and I'd rather wait and have another look at it.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor? Councillor Dadouche, thank you.
Thank you. I do agree that there is pressure that comes with delay, but I feel like we can do much better. I have concerns about emergency access and throughway, but we have talked about some possible solutions today, and I think there is more to be investigated and positive results. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillor? No? Okay. Right or apply? No? We have a motion before us, councillors. We'll now put it to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Howard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Potter, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Douge. All those against? Councillor Schram. It's carried. 6-1. Thank you. Thank you. That concludes our items on number 6. Now move to items for decision. 7.1, project budget adjustments and cash transfers. Questions of officers? Are there none? No? We have an officer recommendation in the report. Councillors, does anyone wish to move that as the motion? Councillor Potter. Seconder? Councillor Hudgell. Councillor Potter as the mover. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, we see this table every month. It's a great part of transparency of council, and thanks again for bringing this in the agenda. Pretty straightforward for me. We've got some funding for much needed bike park in Colac, and we need to shift some funds into that, and an extra $10,000 for the forest wastewater issue out of forest. Again, a big simmering issue out of forest, so pleased to support the inclusion of an additional $10,000.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Hudgell as the seconder.
Thanks, Mayor. Just to echo Councillor Potter's comments, it's a great report. It gives a clear snapshot of the responsible financial management in action at the Shire. I just want to particularly also mention the Colac Bike Park project. I just think this is a fantastic example of council working proactively to attract external funding and additional support through the Colac connected communities alongside council's contribution as well. So it's a project that's going to deliver a really positive outcome for Colac, and I look forward to it getting started and seeing it come to life. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor? No, I just wanted to say about the bike park, and I think it's a good thing if people, I've read that we've got a grant and been able to do it. Part of the grant application was to provide ratepayer money as part of that to help the funding, and we also got funding, say $80,000 from a community group, which was fantastic. So hopefully we can go out to tender and get something built there. Thanks. Reply. No. And now I have a motion before us. Councillors will put to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Howard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Potter, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Douge, Councillor Schram. Motion is carried 7-0. Thank you. Move on to item 7.2. Councillor Hudgell, declare a conflict of interest. And sorry, Mr. Surin. Thanks. Councillor Hudgell has left the room. Questions of officers? Sorry. Yeah. Councillor Potter. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Sorry you got to stand for this, guys. It just, we are where we are. Just a couple of questions, if I may, Mayor. You've undertaken reference checking against the proposed successful applicant, IVG Global. Did that include financial reference checking, and how is all the references stacked up?
Through you, Matt. Thank you for the question, Councillor Potter. So we've undertaken reference checks on 3 of IVG's clients that they've used for similar sort of activities, and they were, quite frank discussions we had with them, and they gave us no reason to doubt the earlier suggestions that would be adequate for the task here. And with regard to financials, we have checked that as well, and there was nothing of note that came up that would once again put us in any doubt to have them recommended as preferred operator.
Question?
Yep. Thanks, Mayor. Just a question in relation to this current financial year and the performance of Colac. Could you let me know how the budget's travelling, or what is the year-to-date cost of Colac?
Absolutely, and through you again, Mayor. So the budgeted position for Colac this year was a loss of $425,000 approximately, and the current performance is at a loss of about $250 year to date. So it's a bit lower than we would otherwise expect, but we've had some staff vacancies that we haven't filled. We've been sort of managing them within council's other resources, pending the conversation here today.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Howard?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Could you just confirm the expression of interest period? What? I don't know what. What was the? How many weeks did the expression of interest go out for? That one. Is that better? Yes. Yes, so the period of the expression of interest.
Yep, so through you, Mayor, it was open for 9 weeks.
And the exhibition period?
4 weeks.
4 weeks, 13 weeks altogether. Thank you.
Thanks, councillors. Any other questions? No? Sorry, you have a question?
I just wanted to flag, Mayor would be seeking leave to move an alternate motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to, if there's an alternative motion come up, I'd like to foreshadow a motion if any motion gets defeated.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions? No questions. Councillor Potter? Do you have?
Yeah, sorry, Mayor. I would like to move an alternate motion. I think it's been circulated to councillors. It's up on the screen. I'm just reading it, and yeah, that's a motion I'd like to move. I think there's a point 10 at the bottom just to thank some ministers. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Does it need to be read out, as it's not in the agenda? You'll have to
sure
read it. Thanks.
Thank you. I'd like to move that Council 1 notes that Council has previously endorsed IVG as preferred operator for Colac, subject to the completion of a statutory consultation process and reference checks. 2, notes the outcomes of the reference checks and community consultation undertaken in accordance with Section 115 of the Local Government Act 2020 in relation to the proposed lease of Colac. 3, notes there was no community consultation undertaken prior to Council's decision to endorse a preferred operator of Colac. 4, notes that the arts are an important part of the fabric of society and contribute socially and economically to the Shire and provide well-being and positive mental health outcomes to which Colac is pivotal. 5, notes that the Creative Colac Arts and Culture Strategy 2018 to 2022 is overdue for review. Notes that no forward business case or strategic plan to improve the financial performance and facility of activation of Colac was presented to Council. 7, resolves not to proceed with the award of a lease to the preferred proponent, IVG, arising from the completed expression of interest process. Continues to operate Colac, including investigating options to provide cinema services. 9, completes the development of a business case strategic plan for the ongoing operation of Colac by Shire to be considered by Council, including an option to engage a manager, either corporate or individual, to be under supervision of Council. 10, reports back to Council on future operation options to operate COPAC after the development of the business case strategic plan has been completed. 11, prepare a report to consider the establishment of a community reference group to ensure community interests are represented in the planning for COPAC and ongoing strategy. 12, completes a review of the Colac Otway Shire arts policy. And 13, thanks all persons and organisations that made submissions.
Thanks, Councillor. On the Part 3 meeting procedure of our governance rules, under Section 14, the Chair's duties, 14.2, the Chair must not accept any motion that they determine, and there's a number of things there. I determined to not accept this motion under Part H, 14.2H, that it breaches the provision of 36.2 in the absence of a council report. And under 36.2, my reasons are that it commits council to unbudgeted expenditure above $20,000 by continuing to manage it, and the cinema facilities that would require upgrades, and a business case that could potentially cost well in excess of $20,000. So therefore I will not be accepting that motion. Thank you.
Point of order, Mayor.
Point of order?
Just in relation to the figures, the unbudgeted $20,000. This current financial year, we've budgeted for a loss of $495,000. I'm not sure where you get that figure from and why that's not budgeted when, if this lease goes through, we have committed to potentially providing IVG with $270,000, which will be in the budget.
In relation to the motion moved in the absence of a council report, I believe in points, let's go through them. Point 8, continues to operate COPAC, including investigations to provide the cinema services. The cinema services will be finishing on the 31st of May. We're not budgeted to purchase any new equipment to provide that service, or budgeted to continue that service. And point 9, completes a development of a business case strategy plan for the ongoing operation of COPAC. I'll ask a question of the CEO. What potentially would that cost be?
Just offhand, it could be anywhere up to $200,000. We'd have to engage someone with market and industry expertise to help us in the development of such a business case. But that is at the higher range.
Would it be above 20,000 at the low range?
It would at least be above 20,000.
Thank you. Therefore, I'll stand by my decision with your point of order that I'll rule it, I won't accept the motion. Thank you.
So will you allow me to argue another point?
Are you calling another point of order?
Oh, well, point of order in relation to point 8 of the submission, of the alternate motion, please.
If you've got a valid point of order,
yeah,
but I'm not going to get into debate with you about your notice of motion, no.
No, I'm not. Could we have point 8 on the screen, please? Point 8 says continues to operate COPAC, including investigation options to provide cinema services. Nowhere does it state that we've got to spend money in excess of $20,000 to do that. We currently have someone in there. There is an option to approach them to extend a lease in which they may pay us to operate the services as they have been now. So I don't see where that commits to any expenditure on the face of it above $20,000.
Thank you for that, but I'll stand by not accepting the motion because I believe it's committing us without a report to above 20,000. I'll now go to Councillor Howard. Had it foreshadowed another motion?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to go back to the officer's recommendation as my motion.
As written?
As written.
In the report?
Yep.
Thank you. There's a motion move under the officer recommendation that's in the report and in the agenda. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Buchanan. Councillor Howard is the mover. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Again, it's come upon us another sensitive issue that we have to deal with. However, that's what we were voted in for, and that's our role as councillors. If I go back a step, all councillors agreed to enter into an expression of interest process that went for 9 weeks. We had an exhibition period as well, but I will emphasise all councillors decided that we needed an expression of interest because the COPAC management needed a review, and that's what we were put on council for, to have a look at service reviews, and this is one of them. We've heard the submissions, we've analysed the expression of interest. It's for 3 years. I don't accept that it's a privatisation of COPAC. It's just a lease to a private company for 3 years, and if it doesn't work out in 3 years, then it goes back to another management. But unless council, in their diligence, doesn't try to actually improve services, to actually save money for the ratepayers, then I'm not doing my job. And if I go back to the Monitor's report that talks about revisiting decisions and directions of council always leads to poor decisions, and I believe what the officers have put up is not a poor decision. This is the appropriate decision after we've gone through a lengthy process, a due process, a statutory process that all councillors agreed on. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Buchanan is the seconder. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. I suppose I'd have to admit that I'm not a big user of COPAC, but lived in Colac for most of my life. I like the movies, I like shows, and I think it's definitely a theme out there that we shouldn't just do these sort of things for money. Money shouldn't be the only consideration. But what I do see is a highly underutilised facility there, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of people have been asking for, to be able to make that place vibrant and provide a lot more facilities for people to use. It could be a very vibrant and lively place, and provide a lot more community stuff. So that's the reason why I think it was necessary to do something, and it's sat stagnant for so long it's not funny. And I don't think it's negating the current users and operators of the place an opportunity to continue to run their shows and with local content. I think that's very, very important. And IVG would know fully well that if they don't engage the current users, they won't have a show there at all. And they need the support of the current users, and I'm quite sure they're very, very aware of that and will be working towards that. It will still support local content and local shows. I'm confident that, otherwise I wouldn't be saying what I've just said. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Potter, thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, councillors went out looking for an expression of interest. I supported that. I supported that wholeheartedly. What I didn't support was the entering into the lease with IVG in the absence of a business case strategic plan presented by council to balance that against what IVG proposed. Initially, we had 3 applicants respond in relation to the OI. In the end, we were left with one choice. You know, in the past, in recent times, council's committed $50,000 to a strategic plan for the Colac airfield. We're spending $40,000 to get someone to tell us what to do with Meredith Park. but we couldn't spend $10 on developing a strategic plan for how to improve the services offered by Colac. We haven't done a service review, and I think this process is now underdone. I think as a council probably made a mistake in the first instance supporting the EOI process without consultation with the community first. In hindsight, I think we should have gone to the community then. The community consultation we've just done was a statutory requirement under Local Government Act because of the nature of the lease, not because we wanted feedback as to how to operate Colac or improve it. The staff have done a good job. I'm not being critical of staff whatsoever, or the CEO whatsoever, but if this is supported, we're asking the CEO to sign a lease that we haven't seen. We've got no idea, despite undertakings by IVG, that the community will be engaged, supported and all the rest of it. We've got no idea what's in this lease, and I think that's dangerous.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor McCrickard, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And I do understand where Councillor Howard is coming from with before we went out for expression of interest. But I guess my question is, is Colac a business or a service? And like the future of Colac has been certainly been a focus of conversation. There's an overwhelming sentiment that council must and should remain in control of Colac in the short term, and that's flowed back in lots and lots of conversations. I guess around Colac I've had probably 60 conversations with ratepayers, with private citizens, and I think everyone except one has been in favour of council maintaining control of Colac. I don't believe that the dilemma, there's a concept of accountable risk and progressive initiations, and I think that's really important that I accept that that there is a risk element, and we should be prepared as councillors to take risks. I understand that. I just don't feel at the present time that I can commit to that. The arts community in particular and the wider community in general see Colac as a centre point, a social in their creative lens. Just on a sort of a side note, we have within Colac four or five sporting precincts, and we've got seven or eight out in the rural area. We spend a lot of money, and rightly so, looking after these areas that young people and people use for community sport, and that's really important. I just don't see why we've got into a situation where we challenge the financial deficit of Colac as being anything different to that. Colac meets the needs of many, many people within our community. The mental health of young people who see Colac as a meeting place. And whilst it may well go ahead with, if IVG take over, it well may happen, but we don't know. And I guess the overriding thing with me is that we don't know what is in the lease, we don't know how it's going to go, and I just don't feel comfortable with that, with so many groups who depend on Colac being at risk, and I'm not prepared to go there. I guess the other very quick point that I'd like to make is that
just quickly, Mick.
Yeah, sorry, Mayor. In my experience, to implement positive change within a community, it's incumbent on all of us to collectively bring the community along with us. And I don't believe we've done that adequately. And to implement change when there's negativity is very, very difficult. And I know from personal experience working in schools and that it is difficult. So that's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor? Councillor Douche, thank you.
This is a tough one. I feel disappointed we didn't seek direction from the community prior to the EOI. I feel disappointed there was no effort from council to show what it would look like if we ran it successfully despite repeated requests. I appreciate all the effort of staff to build into the lease all the concerns of the community, and IVG willingness to take direction. They've done a great job. But I have concerns about the council's ability and appetite to run COPAC. But from the strong community feedback, I do feel we need to see what we can achieve for the community with community leading. Thank you.
Thanks, councillors. I'll have a little bit to say on this. So we first went out in June, supported by all councillors, moved by Councillor Potter, seconded by Councillor Buchanan, to endorse the release of the EOI. So it's been a long process. There's been a lot of information publicly available. In that first resolution moved by Councillor Potter, it was to include things in the lease for anyone that wanted to put in, for community groups and local businesses to be given reasonable, impartial opportunities to use the facilities and demonstrate benefits, and and it goes on. There was a number of things to go into that. We had a good response, there's no doubt about that. So this process has been going on a long time. What a lot of people haven't spoken about is one of the reasons we undertook this, because we've had a great service in the cinemas, which are a private company that have had control of probably 80% of COPAC. A dual operating model clearly in the last decade hasn't worked, at no fault of the cinema or the council. It just hasn't worked. But we went out for EOI, new in this term of council, for the cinema, and didn't get a good enough value. As you've seen, the cinema was paying these publicly available figures, around $128,000, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, and that was down to about 30-odd thousand. I think that's publicly available on the thing, and it's down to less than that now. So it wasn't viable to continue. We do operate like the swimming pool, the cinema, call it a loss, call it a service that we provide. But there comes a point in council where we run out of money to provide those things if they keep losing funds. So you've got to look at things and make decisions accordingly for financial responsibility as well. And this isn't about making money, but what I heard in the submissions from everyone help my decision to justify what we'd done. And some of those things in particular, like from the Colac players, we haven't been able to use this facility for 10 years because it's out of reach, we're priced out of it. Then we heard things like the shows and things haven't been provided. And I don't want to be critical of staff, but we heard things in the submissions that we haven't had good enough managers. You've got to understand that the councillors don't employ staff, so to come back saying we need to do that, that's beyond our remit. But we agree, we listened, and some 9 months ago decided to go out for an EOI to test the market, to see if we could improve the offering, hopefully get better service, to bring the community back in, to get better prices, because private businesses work on foot traffic, and the more people you get in at a lower price is better than getting one person in at a high price. And so we went out, and luckily we got some very, very good applicants, and we landed on IVG Global, and I'm very, very satisfied that they will try their best. And I don't want to put anyone down, but if they're in 3 years' time, it doesn't work, are we in a worse position than we're in now? And the answer is no. If we take the whole lot on and have to spend $500,000 on the cinema, try and get a specialist in to run it, and we run it similar to what we're doing now, or worse, we then can't go out and test the market, because who would really want to look at it? We're in a position now that the cinema's been pretty financial. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. The cinema, like I say, they've offered a fantastic service to us, so I thank them over the years. but we would be silly not to try something, and if this works, we probably won't hear from anyone again. I hope to see the likes of the Colac players. Our major users have not objected to this. I want to make that pretty clear. We had a lot of letters of support, and after 3 years with the current lease, we get $900,000, hopefully better off in our coffers, that we can put back into the facility, renew the seats and upgrade things. And if it doesn't work after that 3 years, and we have that 900 saving, we've got a bit of money there we could probably buy the projectors and things with and look elsewhere. I think we've heard about management. If this mob bring in a managers from Sydney or somewhere else around the world to manage it, well and good. That's what we're looking for, professionals to really lift this service up and provide better offerings. They're a worldwide group with worldwide connections. We hope to bring that. We should be welcoming here. I welcome them here. I'll roll the red carpet out, and I wish IVG Global all the best, and I'll be singing their praises to everyone to come and engage with them early on so that we can build Copac up to where it should be. And like I say, in 3 years' time, if it's working, hopefully the lease gets rolled on. If it's not, we then look at managing it ourselves. Plan B. Thank you. Right or applause?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be quick. I've listened to my fellow councillors, and I do respect their views. And that's the good thing about council, is that we have differing views and we can debate, and I respect everyone. Going on Councillor McCrickard's thing, is it a business or is it a service? It is a service. But if you want to have sustainable services for our community, you've got to do best value, and it's actually endorsed in legislation. And this is part of our best value type of review. We need services to be sustainable, or this shire will not be sustainable. And this is part of my deliberation of trying to get the best outcome for our ratepayers. We were voted on council. I look after the silent majority as well as the vocal majority, just there out there. Business plan, I believe that we did have a business plan and strategic direction in our briefings. And I just, if this motion gets passed, I ask the community and councillors to respect and give IGV a chance at making it work for everyone and for the people with angst to work with IGV and see that it can work, because it's got to be community, council and IGV working together, not against each other. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, councillor. Thanks, councillors. We have a motion before us now put to vote. All those in favour? Councillor Howard, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Schramm. All those against? Councillor Potter, Councillor McCrickell, Councillor Dews. It's tied 3-3. Use my casting vote in favour. Motion is carried 4-3. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Hudgell, call her back in. Thank you. Thanks, Councillor Hudgell. We'll now move on to item 7.3, draft budget 2026, endorse for public exhibition. Questions of officers? Are there any questions? Councillor Howard, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question just related to the asset renewal allocation. As it states in the report, the allocation is 11.74 million. Can officers confirm that that's in line with our long-term financial plan? Thank you.
CEO, thank you.
Through you, Mayor, yeah, I can confirm, Councillor Howard, that that is in line with our long-term financial plan.
Thank you. Questions of officers? Any other questions, councillors? No, we have an officer recommendation in the report. Does anyone wish to move that as a motion? Councillor Howard, is it to be seconded? Councillor Hudgell. Councillor Howard is a mover. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, a lot of time and effort's being put into this draft budget to be put out on exhibition, and hopefully, as previous years, that we do get a lot of interest from the community and they make these submissions. But this, I can tell you, there's been long and good deliberation on this budget to make it what I think is a very appropriate budget for Colac Otway Shire, a sustainable budget, a good long-term financial budget that are meeting our targets and our asset renewal program, as well as leaving us some discretionary funds. But again, I thank the officers for their diligence and thank the councillors for great input into this document. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hudgell is seconder.
Thanks, Mayor. This is my second budget that I've had the opportunity to be a part of in my term of council, and it has been generally a collaborative effort, and I just want to acknowledge my fellow councillors for their thoughtful input. I also just want to acknowledge the officers as well. Preparing a budget of this scale is a significant piece of work, and a lot of time and detail and care that goes into it, and it doesn't go unnoticed. We all know we're operating at really challenging times and environment at the moment, both globally and locally, and which means that we can't do everything that we wish we could do. But I really do appreciate in this budget there's a good balance, continuing to invest in our core services and infrastructure, but still making some room in there for some community-driven initiatives, things like the upgrade to the Illawarra Rec Reserve toilets and the emergency management trailer for Apollo Bay, and the additional park furniture in Memorial Square, things like that that are small items in the overall budget, but they make a real tangible difference in people's day-to-day lives. So I just really encourage our community to take the time to have a look at the draft budget while it's on public exhibition. I think it's from the 29th of April, I think, through to the end of May. So have a read, provide some feedback, make a submission, and yeah, we generally would love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thanks, councillor. Any other councillor? No? Reply? No. Thanks, councillors. We have a motion before us now put to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Howard, Councillor Hodgell, Councillor Potter, Councillor McCready, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Schramm. It's carried 7-0. Thanks, councillors. We'll now move on to item 7.4, the Asset Management Policy endorsed for public exhibition. Questions of officers. Councillor Howard.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Could the officers explain the benefits of an asset management policy in less than 30 seconds? Thank you.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor. It's really important for council in the long term that it maintains its current assets, as well as ensuring that any future assets that we attain are managed well. This policy gives a very solid framework for how we do that and guides the actions of officers on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. We have a officer recommendation in the report. Does anyone wish to move that as a motion? Councillor Howard, does it be seconded? Councillor McCrickard. Thanks, Councillor Howard.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The reason I ask that question of officers, because I do think sometimes these management reports or policies go under the radar a bit. They are very, very important to council's day-to-day operations and long-term sustainability, and that's why I talk about our asset renewal program. You know, we want to leave a legacy into the future of having our assets, you know, for our future generations at a really good level, and I think the officers have done a great job in this.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor McCrickard.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other councillors? Councillor Hudgell. Thanks.
Yeah, just to echo Councillor Howard, I'm really glad to see this policy come forward again. I just think these are practical and necessary steps to ensure that we invest in today, as Councillor Howard said, and it remains resilient and fit for purpose for the future, and just encourage everyone to take a time to have a look at it.
Thank you. Any other councillor? No. We have a motion before us. Councillors will now put to vote. All those in favour? Councillor Howard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Potter, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dewey, Councillor Schramm. Motion is carried 7-0. Thank you, councillors. Move on to 7.5, the road safety strategy endorsed for public exhibition. Questions of officers? Questions? No. We have an officer recommendation in the report. Councillors, will anyone like to move that as the motion? Councillor McCrickard? Can be seconded. Councillor Howard. Councillor McCrickard as mover. Thank you.
No, thank you, Mayor. Just very quickly, obviously this is a very important strategy for our shire. Road safety is an issue that is on everyone's lips, and to go out for exhibition is really important to get feedback and on this very, very important strategy for public endorsement. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Howard as a seconder. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yeah, I endorse Councillor McCrickard's comments, and also living adjacent to the Great Ocean Road, we know about road safety, and any small thing, any large thing that can help look after our ratepayers, our visitors in traffic movement and pedestrian movement is a great thing, and bicycles, etc. Scooters, I don't know so much about. Yeah.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor? Councillor Buchanan. Thank you.
Thanks, thanks, Mayor. I think this is one of the three most important things that we go on council for, and council's responsibility. It's the safety of our community, our kids, and if you think about how we look at other parts of our council and how we try and save money, that's the reason why we save money, to try and get footpaths, to try and upgrade our roads, to try and scrape together enough money to do this sort of stuff, and it's not always easy. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Potter. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, I'll be supporting this. This is a very, very good document. Unfortunately highlighting loss of life in the Shire and some serious accidents, but also where the work needs to be done. Some of these roads are not council roads, but it highlights to the state the issues within our Shire, and it will also allow or support our officers in applying for grants, state and federally, to have this strategy behind us. I encourage the community to have a good look. I know Otway Road Safe will do that, but please read it and give us your feedback.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor? No. For a reply? No. We have a motion before us. Councillors will now put it to vote. All those in favour? Councillor Howard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Potter, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dewey, Councillor Schramm. Carried 7-0. Thanks, councillors. We move on to 7.6, the councillor attendance at the Alga Assembly. Questions of officers? Are there none? No? I'll need a motion moved for this one. Councillors, does anyone wish to move? Councillor Potter.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move this motion with a small addition, if I could. That council approve, well, the ALGA representative, nominate ALGA representatives myself, but with another at least one other councillor to attend the conference is what I'm trying to get at, Tilly.
Approves Councillor Potter as the ALGA representative and one additional councillor?
At least one. Do we have to nominate?
Yeah, you probably would for the money. That's why we're doing it. Yep.
Councillors? Yeah.
You don't have to send it, but if you've allocated it.
Well, yeah, with an additional 2 councillors to attend.
we will have to say which councillors in the motion.
You do have to name them?
We do.
Okay.
Mayor, if I could just ask
2
a governance
seconds,
question.
Yeah, we'll just make sure we do have to, and before we do that.
And also consider the possibility, if there's a change because of unavailability, whether someone can be swapped in or whatever.
Oh, thanks. Just give us a sec. We'll just look up our policy on the councillor expenditure.
This is the exciting part of bureaucracy, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks for bearing with us there, people. We do have to name the councillors because it's attributed to an individual councillor's expenditure when it exceeds the $1,500.
Mayor, can we have a 5-minute break at this point? Might enable the discussion while we have a toilet break.
Sure, we'll have a 5-minute adjournment. Thank you. If we can stop the live feed. Thank you. Are we, thank you, everyone. We will resume our meeting at 2:18 p.m. Councillor Potter, to finish the motion.
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks for the break. Mayor, I'd like to move an alternative motion. I'll read that out. The council approves Councillor Potter as the ALGA representative and Councillor Howard and Councillor Schramm to attend the Australian Local Government Association's 32nd National General Assembly and Regional Forum in Canberra.
Thank you. We have a motion, councillors, to be seconded. Councillor McCrickard. Councillor Potter as the mover. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. I think my views are well known on this conference. I find it extremely valuable, as other councillors have in the past, and officers as well. I am a big believer that more than one councillor should go, so I'm pleased to move this motion to include the Mayor and Deputy Mayor. I understand potentially there could be some logistical or council problems in relation to the Mayor and Deputy Mayor going at the same time, and if the plane goes down, there mightn't be much left. But for now, I think this is sensible that council has endorsed this, and if we do go, there'll be a proper report brought back to council in due course. I'll just mention the importance of the conference was highlighted by the Governor-General on Sunday.
Thank you, Councillor McCrickard as the seconder.
Thank you, Mayor. Oh, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for councillors to mix with their co-councillors, as long as one of the councillors is not me going. I think it's terrific. But it's a great opportunity, and I look forward to hearing and of the events that take place up there, so we can all learn. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillor? Councillor Howard? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have to admit, last year I didn't support it because I thought about the costs, but Councillor Potter did come back with a report, and also talking to other councils around the traps, there is value out of it, and the Governor-General did mention it is a very important conference for local government to attend. So I have changed my my view. I think it is worthwhile, especially with a federal election will loom very soon after the state one. But the only thing I might, after Councillor Potter's comment, I might drive up there. Is that possible? Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Hudgell.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, I believe it's important that we're visible at these events and we're engaging and contributing to these conversations. I see the real value in the advocacy and the networking, and just in general representing the Colac Otway community on a national level. And I'm really pleased to see the ALGA representative, Councillor Potter, going, and I think it will only will benefit more by the Deputy and the Mayor going as well. So thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Hudgell. Any other councillor? No? Well, I've never been a big fan of this one. I think and I've been vocal against it for sure. Local government in Victoria, we should deal locally. ALGA, I've never seen a benefit. They talk about some things up there that aren't relevant. The Governor-General did personally invite me up there. No, I'm joking. She did say the value of it. But all this does is endorse to go if I am available. If I'm not, I won't be going. But I should always, I guess, try something before I bag it. But I, like Councillor Howard, a bit worried about this plane flight. So I don't know. I think there'll be enough numbers to get this approved, but I'm still in two minds. Thank you. Any right or reply, Councillor Potter? Thanks. We have a motion before us. Now put to vote. All those in favour? Councillor Howard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Potter, Councillor McGregor, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dew, and Councillor Schramm, half a vote. It's carried 7-0. Thank you. We'll move on now to 7.7, the Governance Report Monthly. Questions of officers? Question, Councillor Howard.
Just a very quick question to the governance officers. The ones about the delegations, they're just, I assume, but you can confirm to be statutory updates under various acts?
Yes, they are. Sorry, thank you, through you, Mr Mayor. Confirming that, Councillor Howard, they are statutory updates.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other questions? No, there's an officer recommendation in the report. Does anyone wish to move that as the motion? Councillor Hudgell is to be seconded. Councillor Howard. Councillor Hudgell is the mover, I think.
Thanks, Mayor. No, I'd just like to thank the officers. I really do enjoy reading these reports, and it's just a really strong example of open and transparent governance. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Howard as a seconder.
Yeah, look, I think these get overlooked again. I think they're very important as part of the overall governance of local government and councillors' interaction and attendance and everything else. So I hope the public does read them and take some interest. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other council wish to speak? No. We have a motion before us, councillors. We'll now put to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Howard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Potter, Councillor McGregor, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dew, Councillor Schramm. Carried 7-0. Thanks, councillors. There's no items to note. Is there any urgent business? There is none. No? Urgent? No. No, Charlie, there's no general business. That was urgent business. Is there any urgent business? Thank you. There is none. So, the remaining items of business are to be considered in closed session. In accordance with Section 66 of the Local Government Act 2020, this meeting will be closed to the public and council move into closed session for the consideration of these items. I'll now ask for a mover.
Yeah, I'd like to move that we move into...
Yeah, to go into closed session. Yep. Moved. Councillor Potter, seconded. Councillor Howard. Any seconder? No, any other councillor? No, we have a motion before us, councillors. Now put to vote. All those in favour? Councillor Howard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Potter, Councillor McGregor, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dew, Councillor Schramm. Is carried 7-0. We'll now move into closed session to hear the minutes of the closed session of the council meeting held on the 10th of March 2026 and to the Chief Executive Officer employment matters. Yeah, so thanks everyone. Is this still working? Hello? Oh, thanks everyone. Thank you. Over into closed session. Does anyone need to leave that's here? All good? Testing, testing. Hello? Hello? Hello, hello? Testing, testing. Hello? Yeah, that's okay. If it's coming through the stream, will I push on? Very good. Thank you, councillors and members of the gallery and all those that participated today. The confidential business of today has been dealt with. I formally declare the council meeting for the 28th of April 2026 closed at 2:32 3 p.m. Thanks.